Oh.
The young ladies in my life, David Logan.
Relations with others, particularly the opposite sex, are quite complex, are they not? At least that's been my experience. And if I were more flexible, I would kick myself so many times for the horrendous blunders I've made. And if more flexible in mind and character, perhaps I wouldn't need to at all. But then there'd be less material for the speech. One learns from one's mistakes, so they say. But I must be a terribly slow learner. Why can't I learn from other people's mistakes? We could share. Okay, I'll start. When I address a young lady, particularly if I don't know her, I will always say Miss, unless I know her to be married, of course. And so, armed with this title, let me relate an important life lesson that I have gained from my many passionate encounters with the messes of this world. The first young lady to capture my attention and excite my emotions, apart from my older sister, and that wasn't always very positive, was definitely a little misbehavior. She excited me so much that, figuratively speaking, of course, I literally took possession of her, both in the playground and in the classroom, and even brought her home, much to the dismay of my parents. One, though, was soon not enough. I embraced mischief, misdeeds, with so much passion that my teachers and my parents became terribly alarmed and restrictive. Can you imagine how frustrating that was for me? I thought it was terribly unfair. I felt physically and emotionally oppressed. But being determined and inventive, I decided to be less overtly demonstrative and to focus my attention on one delightful little misdemeanor. Though I occasionally did misappropriate too, I got away with it every time. Honestly. Life is mystifying, I decided, as I matured, though still reveling in misconceived activities. I don't remember whether it was misconception, misjudgment, but my mind was definitely misdirected, or was it misled? Perhaps both. I did find things very difficult, and eventually my situation got so complex, my position difficult. I was stifled under a formidable misapprehension. That is, when I was not trying to get over missed opportunities. Eventually, and inevitably, of course, I got caught, figuratively speaking, with my trousers down. There lay my mistakes, completely exposed. Can you conceive that? It was terribly embarrassing. I had miscalculated, mismanaged, everything, misjudged, and misfired. All together. That, of course, was quite unacceptable and beyond all acceptance. Suddenly, I was overwhelmed by misfortune. I admit that I had flirted with misadventure. Everybody turned against me with mistrust. I learnt the hard way that misrepresentation, misdealing. Oh, how many other young ladies were there? And misrepresentation, I think I went really good at that, are definitely not commendable. Ah, and another thing. As far as you're able, as far as this depends on you, do avoid mishaps and misadventure. They're really not to be trusted. The one I blame the most for all my problems, and who stalks you like a lion, is undoubtedly the redoubtable, misplaced pride. So avoid it. I do reflect fondly, though, sometimes on some of those experiences. Life is so full of little mistakes, is it not?